Donatas, you had a wild couple of weeks, maybe a month, I would say. You broke the news together with some of our colleagues at BasketNews that Jonas Valanciunas is very interested with signing with Panathinaikos. Then a day later, he's flying over to Athens, doing a medical checkup. Then a few days later, when the deadline of the trades becoming official, or the free agency officializing, we get the news that the Nuggets are not willing to let him go.
Yeah.
And now we're in a situation where very likely, like you told me, 99% he's staying in Denver.
I think miracle has to happen for him to move to Pana.
But the question I have for you is, why are you getting so much heat from the Greek fans? Can you explain what's your fault here? What did you do wrong?
I think the narrative is that I put the news on purpose to stop the move, to not to let Panathinaikos to become stronger for the next season because of this big NBA move. I leaked the news on purpose to make Nuggets mad, to inform them that, hey guys, there's the secret tunnel between Lithuania and Greece, and Valanciunas is somewhere inside and he's on his way to Athens to do this transfer.
So what were you supposed to do?
To keep silent and to pray that this happens.
Okay, so
that's how I
rationalize what they're saying.
No, it's not rational. It's completely, there's no rationality behind that.
The way I understood the situation was someone close to Jonas, either leaked or just talked to one of our people, to you, to someone. You got that information however you got it, right?
I'm not revealing my sources, that's for sure.
Yeah, doesn't matter, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing because I don't know. So, but despite that came out to the public, the news that he's even considering such a move, which wasn't really on the radar. Like, it was quite surprising that's happening, at least for me as a fan. And the next day, him flying to Athens, I thought was brought out by that news article coming out. I thought he was making some kind of a quick decision on the spot. Now, now everyone's thinking I'm going there, so I probably need to go there and do a medical checkup. Is that how it worked?
I'm not sure.
Or do you think
I
that
don't
was
think
planned?
that it works this way.
Do you think if the news article didn't come out, he would have gone the next day?
Probably.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure what it has to do with the news, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I don't really know as well, but I'm just thinking.
Because we put the report on BasketNews around 11 o'clock before midnight, something like that. So just to follow up that quickly and to get into the plane basically next morning, just because of that,
You don't think
I really
that's...
doubt it.
Okay.
I think it was planned. And that's one of the reasons, why I also thought that this is happening. There's... Because you don't go to pass medicals when you're not sure if you're coming or not. That's the thing.
And I think that's why you were obviously putting out the tweets.
Yeah, there were more reasons behind our confidence putting that report. And I think that probably Valanciunas was confident as we were.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he wasn't getting onto this plane. So, that's how I read it. Because people are really naive to think that I broke the news, Denver was shocked, they didn't know, and suddenly Valanciunas is on the plane, and they're like, oh no, what is going on? Is he going to walk away from the contract? No, I'm sure that Denver was aware. If that was such a top secret, like worldwide secret, there's no chance that Urbanus knew it, and Denver was not even aware of it.
Yeah.
Yes, they were shocked by the fact that he was considering walking away the guaranteed NBA contract worth $10+ million dollars for the next season. But, they had the pulse on the thing, on the move. And I think, his quick trip to Athens even escalated the whole thing because it went out in Greece as well. It was public in Greece. At the same time, we also posted the news about him being on his way to Athens. The reports came out at the exact same time that he's on his way to Athens. So, I understand people are sad. There are a lot of emotions. They were really expecting Jonas to come. They really thought that he might be this another missing piece for their championship run. And I get the frustration. It didn't affect me at all. I don't read comments. I'm fine. I'm cool. It's not the first time nor the last time. I don't think I'm the guy to blame for. If you want to blame something, put your energy on Denver to make that pressure, because actually they're decision makers. They have the contract. They go according to the NBA rules, and they insist on keeping Jonas Valanciunas. So make the pressure, send all your love messages to their front office people, and try to convince them to let Jonas out.
Yeah. Hashtag Free Jonas is trending under our Instagram posts. But where are we currently with the situation? So you said you're almost certain a miracle would have to happen. What's that miracle? Denver would need to get a crazy amount of money from Panathinaikos. What is the way of Jonas going to Panathinaikos next season?
I'm not even sure, because they really wanted Jonas Valanciunas like crazy. That's why they traded for him. Everyone was super happy, including Nikola Jokic. You know, it was a backup they needed to get him rested, to get him to, I don't know, just get into his peak shape for the playoffs, play less minutes than before. They love Valanciunas, what he can offer on the court, his personality. They saw him as a great, great, great asset. And just walk away from that, something you've planned on, you actually got for some buyout. Who are you going to buy with that money? Can you actually use that money, like the buyout from Europe? There was never such a case where
never happened.
European club pays a buyout to the NBA organization. So I'm not sure how it works with the cap. So,
but you know what is interesting to me? Why would this is an NBA kind of a side of it, but why would Kings trade trade for Dario Saric if you look at the two players? One was playing 80 games that season, and Dario Saric played 16 games and was
for salary cap reasons.
Just
because
for salary
Saric's
cap
contract was $5 million or something. Yeah. JV's 10.5. So
you free up 5
exactly for cap reasons.
Because
that's why I think that Schroeder's move was also in limbo when there was this big thing about Valanciunas, is he moving away from the trade or not?
Because the whole thing was, this is a conspiracy, I guess, that, Kings knew that JV wants to go back to Europe. That's why they just got value by doing this. Because otherwise they would have just lost Valanciunas. But how would they lose Valanciunas if he's under contract as well? That's another question, you know?
And I actually think, this is only my speculation, but I think that if he wasn't traded, Valanciunas, and he stayed in Sacramento, I think that he was about to go to Pana.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought that, he was frustrated of not being in a winning situation for a while and being on the move all the time. He's a family guy. He has a big family. So I thought that, he would have been walking away from that situation, and it would have been easier to reach an agreement with that NBA club in that situation. But not when there's this championship contender. I look the odds. They're among the top 3, top 5 teams to win the title next year. They want you as an important rotation piece, and they don't want to walk away from that situation. Because I remember Vezenkov had his case with Olympiacos last summer, and
he was also under contract.
Exactly. And I remember it was also that situation where, everyone thought that Vezenkov was for sure leaving, but Toronto had some different ideas. But the difference is that Toronto was not in a championship contention, and they didn't see Vezenkov being in such a big role like Denver sees Jonas Valanciunas. So that's the main thing. That's the deal breaker right here. So, again, I heard a lot of bullshit theories from a lot of different people, not just fans, but I'm putting things quite simply. And everyone knew that, walking out of the NBA situation is super hard, especially for this player of a status like Jonas Valanciunas. So the only way I imagined that he could have walked out that situation was to get the trade confirmed, to go to Denver, and then to talk with them.
Agree with them?
Exactly.
And then,
explain his situation, agree with them, and then to move. But now, I mean, I think it was some miscommunication. And from what I heard, from what I read as well, I think it starts from him being convinced by, let's say, people around his camp in Lithuania that, Denver is a green light, you can go. And that, I think, where that confidence was coming from. And again, regarding this top secret thing, I think that when I posted the news, and if that was the deal breaker for everyone, I really think that there were ways to kind of stop it or to change the narrative or to guide the situation from a lot of different angles for a lot of different people. But approaching the story, after the story, it never felt like that, no, I'm just destroying the move. It wasn't the case. If I knew that I am destroying the move, I was not going to report that.
You're just reporting what's going on, really.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
JB can walk away from the NBA contract for Pana. That's crazy. But everyone is so confident that it's happening. Okay, I'm doing my job.
Yeah,
this is it.
Yeah,
that he's considering, seriously considering leaving the Nuggets for Pana.
To be honest, the other alternative you just gave about him going to Nuggets first, maybe agreeing on getting released and then going to Pana, it still is unlikely because the need for Jonas Valanciunas in Denver is still there. They still wanted him. So no matter what order you do this in, really,
probably,
if you want Jonas Valanciunas as your backup to Jokic because you haven't had one for as long as I can remember, you'll still want him there. So that's why I don't think that would have changed much. That's why I don't think it's a big deal that you or us or anyone broke the news. It's about the needs of the team, and obviously,
and respecting the NBA contract.
That's another thing. Yeah. Of course, we haven't covered this topic whatsoever on this channel because I've done some videos on the Outside the NBA one. Then you did some BN exclusive, I think, talking about this. Or
we did a lot of things on Lithuanian podcast as well.
Lithuanian podcast, yeah. So just to wrap up the whole story, what do you think this means for Panathinaikos? Was this just a move that was a nice to have? Like, it would be nice to just bring Jonas Valanciunas, big name from the NBA, to our team, or was this a need for Panathinaikos? Because when I heard the news, I was a bit like, so what's happening with Matías Lesor then? He's a top 3, top 2, top 1, maybe center in the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
What is going to happen? They're going to split the minutes 20 and 20. They can't really play together. They're not compatible, in my opinion. So what's going to happen with that? And that's why him not really coming, in my eyes, doesn't really do anything bad to Panathinaikos. What do you think?
That's the thing. I'm actually not sure about Valanciunas' fit in general, because I think that Matías Lesor is a better two-way player to close out the games, because he has all the tools, all the skill sets to play defense, what's the most important for Pana, and he's also really effective offensively. And Valanciunas, I remember I talked with, I would say, many smart basketball people, and just to double check if I'm concerned for the reason or, I just don't really understand basketball. And I have to be honest, I heard not like a lot of concerns, but people were intrigued to see how his, let's say, defensive loopholes, defensive challenges that he brings with his defense, his NBA habits, how it's going to transform in the EuroLeague in a situation where you have to win every week, like every freaking week. If you're not performing for a few weeks, you might get out of Ataman's rotation. You might get a lot of pressure from the fans, a lot of expectations. Come on, it was a 4 million euro deal per year. I mean, it would have been very high pressure situation for Jonas Valanciunas, and he brings some nuances with his game that I wasn't sure, if he's going to be successful for sure. I didn't see guarantees because I saw two scenarios. The best case scenario being, let's say, making an influence on the EuroLeague courts as Nikola Milutinov, and maybe something bigger.
For sure,
outside,
a more talented, skilled than Nikola Milutinov. You could see that on the FIBA courts.
Yeah.
You could see that.
And Milutinov is a great asset in the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
my worst case scenario was what happened to Willy Hernangomez in Barca, because he brings a lot of similar, let's say, weaknesses to the EuroLeague court. I think that GV is better, but when I saw the picture, and that's why I think that even for Pana and maybe Jonas, it's actually better to wait this one season, because look what happened. Okay, so he comes to Pana. He walks away from his Denver contract, comes to Pana, 3 years, 12 million deal, huge expectations, crazy pressure. Jonas gonna win the EuroLeague for us. He goes to Lithuania national team camp to play in the Eurobasket. So he misses the entire preparation in a new team, in a new environment. Okay, he plays FIBA game, but that's different. NBA habits, a lot of different stuff. And Ataman has to know you better.
The game is around better. The game is around you in FIBA. In Lithuanian national team is going to be all about you. In this Panathinaikos with now TJ Shorts and Kendrick Nunn and you still got all the guys from before, Jedi Osman, Juancho.
Ataman has to adjust to you as well.
Different.
And there's no time to adjust. So he comes, and usually those FIBA players after the national team, at some point they have a crash in their season, which is natural because they peaked too early. So when that crash comes, like right after you join the team or a bit later, but even if you join the team, you're not sure about your role, a lot of things can happen. I mean, I'm not sure if the timing was good. Like, we can actually forget the NBA contract timing is not really good for that. But next year, what we have next year? No big FIBA competitions, only FIBA window. So, and you have a non-guaranteed second year in Denver. Okay, it's a team option, but I think that now you can approach the whole, let's say, exit situation earlier in a different manner. I mean, completely different conversation and conditions, and you can prepare yourself and the team, NBA club, for that move. There's no national team camp. You can be more with your team. Maybe Pana identifies their needs better. Of course, there is this concern for Valanciunas potentially declining. He's born 1992, so he's getting older.
But which would be even better. A backup role for him a year later, let's say he declines a little bit, would be even more logical than it is right now. You would still believe that Jonas Valanciunas, with that contract and his name and status, you would want to see him. I would want to see him 20 minutes a game, but it's probably, if the smart basketball people told you so, it's not likely that he would be able to stay on the court so much because...
Okay, 20 minutes is like logical.
Yeah.
Maybe 17 or 18. I mean, you have a lot of things with him on the court. For sure, he adds a lot, but there are some challenges as well.
But what I'm saying is, next year, let's say he declines a little bit, 15, 20 minutes... makes more sense for him in the EuroLeague. And also, I think Matthias Lezort being there, he's going to be there still for the next year as well.
Yeah.
So that situation doesn't change.
Contract.
That situation doesn't change.
He will be back in shape and his rhythm. Even actually, Panathinaikos will be able to evaluate how he's recovering after the injury.
Yeah,
if he's the same Matthias Lezort. Matthias Lezort is sure that he's going to perform the way he performed before the injury. But, you can analyze a lot of things in the process. So I really honestly think that next year is even better window for Pana to get Valanciunas. And I think it makes more sense for both sides, because now Valanciunas has an opportunity to play on the winning team.
Yeah,
I would say again, but I don't consider that Toronto as competitive in the NBA title run compared to this Denver team.
And that's the main reason I'm happy about him actually staying, because Lithuanian player has never won the NBA. A Lithuanian player has never won the NBA. We had Žydrūnas Ilgauskas closest to that when he was with the Heat, but then the Heat didn't win.
Cavs as well. He played in the NBA finals.
Yeah, in the finals. But point being, I really want that to happen. And I think this is the perfect opportunity. And you can go back to Europe when you're, what is he now, 34, 33?
33.
33.
He's 1992, like me. So I know the number.
You can go back, like you're still okay. You're not in your prime, but you're at the end of it. So use that while you can. Be with Nikola Jokic on the same team. that's an incredible experience, I think, as well. I think they get along from what I've seen on the court, at least.
Yeah.
You know, the chemistry between those two guys, even though they're competitors.
And
usually.
even off the court, I read some reports, and I think in Serbian media, that Jokic actually approached Valanciunas. And I mean, Valanciunas basically got a superstar treatment from him, from their entire organization. Just them wanted to display him how much they want him. So enjoy, let's say, your last NBA year, compete for the title, maybe eventually get that NBA ring, and then get closer to your home in Vilnius, 3 hours away from Vilnius in Athens, in a way different and more relaxing setting, I would say.
It's actually quite funny how it became Serbia versus Greece in this, because the Serbian commentators are obviously happy for Nikola Jokic.
Oh, really? I didn't follow that.
Yeah, no, this is it. Like, now I'm looking at comments, a Serbian going against a Greek guy, and they're just...
Then for all the Greeks gonna come after me, so I'm fine with that.
So the narrative is still gonna be that we wanted Panathinaikos not to be unbeatable, and this is why this has all happened. But guys, come on.
But let's say if Jonas Valanciunas was moving to Panathinaikos, and I mean, there's still this thing. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that even after the deal was officially confirmed and Nuggets, okay, they unofficially, let's say, explained their intentions or showed that they have no intentions to let him go. Their head coach is talking how JV gonna play like a major role in their rotation. But Jonas was like still kind of,
I think
not super. He was not really committing to Denver. It felt like that.
Like now in the national team camp?
Yeah, or he's just afraid of saying something,
I think I think once it gets official, then people will talk. People like Jonas will talk, and then
maybe he's waiting for Denver's executives to come out first with something.
Just to say, well, it's actually such a weird situation, because in reality he's just an NBA player playing for the Denver Nuggets. That's the situation.
Yeah.
So
but
what official
really wanted to go to Pana.
What official statement do you really need to do here? Really, you don't really have to have anything official, unless the official statement would be he's going to Panathinaikos. But if that's not happening,
or just saying that I'm super happy to play with Nikola Jokic and to compete for the title.
If he says that, yeah.
But he didn't, so
he's not a very talkative guy usually to the media anyway. So
that's true.
This is the main question that everyone had, and he knew it's gonna come, and he was prepared to just say no comment.
But this is where I leave this 1% chance, because he didn't say anything yet. Although the deal is kind of official already.
The hopes are alive, guys. Maybe
miracles, believe in miracles.
Slim.
But anyways, if Jonas Valanciunas was coming to Panathinaikos, it would have been for sure the biggest story of the offseason.
For sure.
Not only this offseason, I guess.
Yeah.
In a decade. And there's this crazy situation where the EuroLeague club kind of shattered the NBA, almost getting the NBA player to Europe who was with the over 10 million contract in the league.